Are you having trouble squeezing into your scrub pants or buttoning up your work shirt? Gaining weight on night shift can unfortunately catch up with us, but it doesn't have to be this way. Let me give you a couple of tips to stop the scales tipping in the wrong direction. You're probably thinking, why is night shift linked to weight gain over, let's say, a 9-to-5 job? Well, there's a couple of reasons, but the first, probably most important thing is that we are working against what our body clock and our circadian rhythm deem as normal. Although this kind of setup can seem harmless, our body doesn't like it very much, and it goes into a stress response, triggering hormones to behave in ways they wouldn't normally, such as cortisol and also our appetite hormones, which we'll talk about in a moment. Another reason could be our lack of motivation to meal plan and to actually bring healthy meals and snacks to our shift. If we don't do this, we're then needing to rely on the very limited options that we've got overnight that generally come from a vending machine, a fast food vendor, or from the gas station. If you're bored at work, you're likely overeating to simply pass the time. And if you're lacking the energy at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, you're probably going to choose something that's full of sugar, such as candy or chocolate, over a carrot dipped into some hummus. Sticking to a consistent exercise routine can feel almost impossible for some night shift workers, and so too could be following a normal diet plan. One of the other big traps, which is a little bit hard to swallow, is a lack of sleep can also lead to weight gain, which is a problem for a lot of us. It may seem like doom and gloom, but there's actually a lot we can do, from what we put in our mouths to how much exercise we're doing to the quality of sleep that we're actually getting during the day. My first tip is, if you're not hungry, don't eat. We are doing things a little bit differently to the normal 9-to-5 worker. So eating 3 meals a day doesn't have to be your normal. Don't be scared to try intermittent fasting. It's been very successful with a lot of our community. We recently did a video about meal timing, which explores the idea that only eat when the sun's shining and fast when the moon's shining. This can be great for your digestive system that's essentially asleep overnight, and can also stop those feelings of nausea and bloating, which are commonly associated with the hour or two after you've had your meal break. If you do get hungry, that's okay, but experiment with eating smaller bite-sized snacks rather than big meals. When you get those hunger pains, I want you to ask yourself, am I really hungry or am I thirsty? Overnight, I tried to drink 2 of these big bottles, and I find on the nights that I'm dehydrated is when I feel really hungry and I'm drawn to those sugary foods. So try to up how much water you're having. The simple strategy that we've adopted in our house is to do with calories. That the amount of calories you're eating has to be equal to or less than what you're burning off. Otherwise, you're going to gain weight. Now, I'm not a numbers person, but I think I can figure that part out. That if you're eating lots and lots of junk and you're not burning it off, it has to go somewhere, and it's probably going to be stored as fat. Now, you can become really obsessive with this and track your macros and micros and your calories inside a smartwatch, or you might even write it down. For me personally, this is all too much, and I like to focus on the labels of food that I eat most often or what I'm drawn to at night. And then I check out how much sugar, how much calories are in these foods that I like to eat. Think about what you're drawn to when you're tired, when you're thirsty, when you get these hunger pains. What's your go-to? And if the calories on that label super exceeds what you're burning off, you probably shouldn't eat it unless you want to gain weight, or unless you really want to up how much exercise you're doing. Whilst we're on the topic of exercise, is it a consistent part of your night shift routine? Because personally for me, it is a huge factor in gaining weight or not. Be on the lookout for different forms of exercise that get you motivated, that you actually want to do, because this is a huge part of the puzzle. My next piece of advice is to be smart with sugar. I know what it's like to work a night shift and suddenly you look around and there's open packets of candy and chocolate everywhere. The temptation is huge. Now, to not get sucked in before you even leave for a shift, fill your belly with a good, sustainable, healthy meal. A poke bowl, for example, is something that I personally like to go for. Now, when you get to work, put all those wrappers, all those packets away in a drawer so the visual cue is gone. If you do crave some sugar though, apple sauce, warm apple sauce, or some medjool dates with some almond butter, or even celery with some almond butter inside, or peanut butter, are delicious but healthy sweet snacks. Now, this next tip is arguably the most powerful of them all, and that is at least once a week, I want you to go into your cupboard and choose your rigid pair of jeans and put them on. Do they still fit like they used to? If you like this tip, give me a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate the support. Thank you very much. For this next one, I want you to think about how much sleep you're actually getting when working nights. If you're not getting the 7 to 9 hours that's recommended on a consistent basis, which I think is most of us, it could be contributing to weight gain. I know when I haven't had enough sleep when working nights, I make unhealthy food choices, and there is absolutely no way that I want to exercise because I don't have the motivation. So if you're not getting the recommended amount, what is stopping you? Is it too loud? Is it too bright? Are you too hot? What's the problem? Because now is a really good time for you to focus on those areas and put something in place. Now, as you work the night shift, I've recently figured out a ninja tip that I had to share with you, and I've created an entire video about it. So I'd love you to watch that one next. Thanks for checking out this video, and we'll see you at the next shift.